up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and we're back and again, so excited. And remember to catch my past interview when I recently had on the co-founder of LinkedIn. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. And I'm very excited today. As part of our weekly series, we're thrilled to have on the Experian Identity Report today, David Britton. He's the Vice President of Strategy for Global Identity and Fraud at Experian. And you can reach him at Experian.com. So welcome to the show, David. We're excited to have you today. And we've got some very important information, and we want to get the word out of just important things that people need to know. So I'm going to jump right in here. One of the things is that it seems like we're surrounded, that's right, by just so many different applications and devices that really simplify our daily lives, right? And eventually becoming, part of our modern lifestyle. But there's always a hunt for better experiences that impact our lives through these several connected devices and apps working together. And security is such an important thing. And I think, David, being that you're the expert, we really need to talk about is why authenticating a person's identity is so critical and important in today's age.
It's a great question, and thanks again for having me, David. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk about these things. The challenge that we face is that we've been a digital society, and it's even accelerated over the last year, particularly the last couple of years over the course of the pandemic. We've seen such an incredible surge in consumers needing to do things digitally, needing to do things in a remote fashion. And there are, as you said, numerous tools and capabilities or applications that we all love to use. The challenge becomes, is the right person using them? Is the right person gaining access to an account? Is the right person signing up for an account? Are they authorized to do so? Or are they using stolen data to gain access? And so the challenge becomes, how do you balance allowing customers and consumers to do what they need to do? As a business, how do you make sure that the right person is coming in, that the right person is able to come and take advantage of the services, while keeping yourself safe as a business and keeping those consumers safe from fraud? So it's really this balancing act of convenience and fraud mitigation or risk mitigation that has to happen. And that's the work that we have ahead of us. That's really the work that has to be done.
Yeah, and that's so important because, most platforms do offer, right, a stringent security measure across their devices or applications. But we also know, and David, this is important, that many businesses can't provide that seamless user experience, plus the critical part of security. So what more makes it just such a challenge for those really that can't?
It really comes down to, what is the consumer wanting to do? And so if you look at how consumers' desires have changed, we now live in a world where, as a consumer, I want to be able to access whatever I want. So I want to access anything I want at any time from any device. And those three things make it really challenging, because in order to compete in business, you've got to meet the customer's needs. So what that looks like is things like, do I serve every channel appropriately? Can I serve them through my website? Can I serve them through my app? Can I start on a call? Can I have a consumer come to me through a call center and then seamlessly transition to having them have an account on my app? And so this has normally historically been managed on the business side in silos. You have one person that's responsible for a call center. You have one person responsible for the app. You have one person responsible for website, both for the consumer experience in those products and channels and for the security. Even the security isn't always lined up across the entire enterprise. So it's our vision and our view that says you have to be able to understand and recognize the customer at every moment of interaction, no matter whether it's an in-person interaction, a digital interaction, a call center interaction. You have to be able to have this 360-degree view of that consumer And that's the real trick. That's what becomes challenging, the technologies you bring in to be able to help with that.
And not only that, David, but once you even have it set, there's always updates that need to take place. There is no set it and forget it.
Absolutely right. No, that's exactly right. And they're not all the same. What you do in a mobile app is very different as a business. What you have to build to support a mobile app is very different from what you have to build to support an online web-based presence and so on. So the idea here is that you having a way to really recognize your customer from an identity perspective across that entire ecosystem becomes the goal. And so we start to understand that you have to start to break down the silos within the business, make sure that there's a common set of practices, a common set of technologies, useful in their own right at each point in the journey, but that can all come together to have a true view of the customer. And then you can recognize your customer consistently, leading to better experiences.
So then let's talk about Experian that has a wealth of resources, incredible people that work for them that are, really all over this type of helping to solve it. So what is Experian doing to help solve this problem?
Yeah, so we've done a couple of things. When we, a decade ago, we had point solutions, what we called point solutions in the market, whether you wanted to do an identity verification, whether you wanted to do a fraud risk assessment. We had these point solutions in the market, and they were doing quite well. But what we realized is this view that said, how do I stitch them all together? So about 5 years ago, we embarked on a journey to build out a platform infrastructure that we call our cross-core platform that allows us to stitch together all of these various solutions that the business needs behind the scenes, but to make it available to a business through a single point of entry. So we have what we call a single API access, where when someone comes into a business, they can make a call, the business can make a call to CrossCore, and then behind the scenes, we will put together all of the layered solutions that are required to make the best decision to serve that customer, if they're a legitimate customer, as effortlessly as possible, with no friction involved. Or if it's a fraudster, to immediately know that and to be able to block that traffic from happening. And so building not just the discrete solutions or partnering with companies that have great solutions, but then providing this infrastructure layer that allows us to take advantage of all that rich technology from startups and other robust companies, like existing enterprises, to solve these customer problems for both good customer experience and fraud mitigation at the same time is what we've been able to build in our cross-core platform.
You're solving it. I mean, that's incredible. And making it easier. Otherwise, what do people do? That's the thing. They've got to use you.
Yeah, it's been something that without a system like this, you've either got to build it yourself, or you continue to struggle with how you make sense of a customer at every moment in their journey. And so we do believe that that's why it's been a tremendous opportunity for us, and one that there's always work to be done. There's always more features. There's always new technologies. And that's the other side of it. For a business that wants to take advantage of all these great new technologies, if they have to plug them all in and go through the diligence of can I plug it in or not, and the technology integration, we said, can we take on that burden for our enterprise clients and just do all the heavy lifting for them? That's really what we've done.
Wow. And then you're also working with several partners within this area. So we'd like to know, really, can you share with our audience of how those partners' capabilities are really improving that certification?
Absolutely. So we have partners in the mix that will do things like email verification. Right? We may not have a strong email verification service ourselves, but there are great solutions in the market that can say, is this a legitimate email address? How long has the email address been in existence? Has there been fraud or bad activities associated with it? So we'll use a partner that helps us with that. Similarly, when we have to go through some of the heavier parts of authenticating a user with things like showing your driver's license, building in document verification partnerships has also been really critical for us, where we can say, look, we're kind of not entirely sure if this is you. Can you show us a copy of your driver's license? And then having a partner that can help us manage the technology to say, yes, in fact, this is first of all, it's a legitimate driver's license. It's not a fake. And does the image on the front of it match the image of the person that's trying to apply for the account or sign into an account? Those are the kinds of things that we'll put together as partnership capabilities behind our own identity verification, risk engine technologies, device intelligence, and that helps us to round out the needs that our clients have.
What goes on behind the scenes is just amazing. I mean, and pulling together all of these pieces and parts and making it happen with Experian is, I mean, I couldn't imagine the roadmap behind that. I mean, why someone, I mean, they need to use you. In fact, I mean, make sure again that you go to Experian. You've been watching, listening to me, David Kogan, host of the Alliances Heroes Show. This has been an Experian Identity Report with David Britton. He's the Vice President of Strategy for Global Identity and Fraud at Experian. So make sure that you go to Experian.com. That's Experian. Thank you so much. Thank you, David, for your time.
Thanks for having me, David.